Alright, we got a new project today. We got an Onan MicroQuiet 4000. This is on a 2003 Sonova.
Itasca Sonova.
Itasca Sonova. How many miles you reckon?
105,000.
105,000 miles. So, and how many hours is on your generator?
600.
600, okay. So we're going to attempt to put a fuel filter on this. I've never done a fuel filter on one of these before. And the fuel pump is kind of back in there. You can barely see it. So there's the fuel pump. Supposedly we can remove the fuel filter from the back side. So I'm gonna crawl under there, and here is what a new fuel filter looks like. So hopefully it will come off nice and easy. We'll get that changed out. So, but if not, you'll be along for the ride, and we'll see what we get into. Okay, so you kind of get your bearings. We're underneath the RV now. And you see where the fuel line runs in. You got that little rubber grommet. Right there is the back side of the fuel filter. So I've taken, all you need is a little 1/4-inch nut driver. Take the clamp loose and pull the hose off. Now you'll get, I already did this a minute ago. You get a little bit of fuel, not too much, but some will come out. So be ready for it. And those barbs hang on really good, don't they? There it went. All right, so we got that off out of the way. And we gotta get this rubber grommet away from here. Tell you what, I'm gonna get me a pair of needle nose pliers and pull on this thing. Might be better. Let me see. Yeah, I found some needle nose. All right. Watch out for dirt. All right, got that. So we got that little rubber piece out of the way. Okay, so before I started this project, I looked up the service manual. The service manual told me it took an 11/16 socket. When I get under here, it actually takes a 9/16. So you know how those manuals are. Sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong. So let's see here. Get our socket up in here. A little bit arm out of the way. All right, it's coming out. I was kind of concerned with its age if it was going to give me trouble. I was concerned if it was really tight that the fuel pump may try to twist on me. And that fuel pump don't look like it's so easy to get to. Goodness, it barely fits out, but it came out of that hole. There it is. Where'd our new one go? Oh, they're right next to it. All right. So yeah, looks like we got the right part. All right. Just get that put back in there. I'll tell you what, let me get two hands on this. I want to make sure I get that lined up, not get no dirt in anything. Okay, we was having an issue. There was a piece of foam that had fell down, was blocking my way getting back into the fuel filter. But well, if you get up here and eyeball it, you can see where the fuel filter is and you can get it started. So that's all you gotta do. We got it started. We'll get a ratchet back on it here. Because when you get done with this, you always want to check for leaks after you get it running. Make sure everything's good. There you go. Feels pretty good. All right. Fuel clamp, is it back on a hose? It took 10 hands to get this grommet in there, but just work it around. You eventually get it back in place. But you want to make sure it's in there good and snug. Help keep the dirt out. Alright, got the line on there. Just snug up the hose clamp and get 2 hands on that. Alright. Now we just gotta do is test it, make sure we got no leaks. Okay, so while we're under here, we did the fuel filter. We decided to do a little oil change too, quick and easy. Just take a T30 Torx bit and loosen up these screws here. Then we'll be able to access the oil drain plug on this Onan 4000. Alright, so after we remove that plate, all we got here is takes a 9/16 deep well socket, and we're going to warm it up first, then we'll get the oil drained out of it. Okay, so before we warm the engine up and get it for the oil change, we're going to go ahead and change the spark plug. So I ran into a little bit of a snag, and this may help you. You may notice so this metal plate is, you see how the hole is offset. It doesn't really give you enough room. So if you use your regular spark plug socket and it still has this rubber boot in it, it won't line up enough to get to the spark plug. So I have to pull that rubber plug out of there, that little alignment of a rubber piece, and took this again with a Torx bit number 30, took that loose so I can move this over just a little bit to help get that socket lined up. Then I was able to easily get in there and get the spark plug loose. But if yours is giving you trouble about getting the socket up in there, and I'll tell you what size socket this is in just a second. Alright, and this socket is a 13/16 to get the original spark plug out. Got some long threads too. Alright, so there she is. I got that old plug out. How's she look? Looks like it's been burning good.
Yeah.
Nice and brown, sooty, no oil. It's a good looking engine. Looks like she's doing good. Alright, so we're gapping the plug. What's that plug gap again? 25?
Yeah,
So
it's certainly not 25 right now.
yeah, so out of the box it's not gapped right, so we're gapping it. Got to take it down to 25,000.
Maybe we should double check we really got the one we...
Okay, always trust but verify, because we pulled out an NGK spark plug, BPR4EY, but we got this Champion, which is RN14YC, which is it's the equivalent. That's what the book calls for. And you can see we gapped the plug at 25 thousandths, like the book says. Out of the box, it looks like they came in about 30 thousandths. So you always want to gap your plug correctly before you put it in. So now we'll get that started and get that put up in there. We'll have that part done too. A lot of threads on that spark plug. There we go. You can see how that hole is so offset. If you leave this rubber boot in that socket, it really makes it difficult to get it in there. So I'll put that little screw back in place, and we'll put the spark plug wire back on it. So now we're also going to put this in a brand new filter. The cap cover's little wing nut comes off. Got another little wing nut back here. There we go. Alright. Make sure our new one's all the same. Looks good. So it looks like coming in from the bottom is the way to do it. Okay. Filter in place. Wing nut number 1. Then we got wing nut number 2. Put that on there. Alright, it's good and snug. It's that little metal plate. Goes down about 7 o'clock position, that little flat spot. Right there. Another wing nut. It's easy enough on the air filter. No problem. Now we just got to warm it up and we'll get that oil changed. Okay, we've been about 5 minutes. Oil's about all out of it now. There's our nice, pretty brass drain plug. Put that back in place. And take our 3/8 drive ratchet, 9/16 socket. We'll snug it back up. Fill it up with oil. And we'll have this project almost finished. Good and snug. All right. And we'll just get a little plate back on there. All right. Snug goes back up. All right, that's done. Let's go back up top and put in oil. All right, so oil is changed. We got the correct oil fill amount. Double check that. So all that's done. But I wanted to point out something. In this little town, amazingly, there is no Onan oil, and you'll run into this on the road. So when you do that, just get you any small air-cooled engine oil. So we did find some Honda power equipment oil. The reason you don't want to use automotive oil is because automotive oil has a reduced amount of zinc or no zinc at all. Any kind of outdoor power equipment like Briggs & Stratton, Kohler, Kawasaki, small engine oil will have the zinc content in it. So at least grab some of that instead of automotive oil, because you want the zinc in there for added protection for cam lobes and that kind of thing, and the rocker arms and all. So just add that little tip in. So I think this little job is over. Took maybe an hour and a half. No problem at all. You can do it yourself. Thanks for watching. Have a blessed day. See you. Bye.